Hello, good day, friends. I am CA Saripalli Venkatraman, speaking on the subject of insurance complexities in general insurance, policy terms and conditions, claim practices, mode of insurance of various assets at right values for insurance purposes. This is part 2 of my lecture. Now, the part 2 comprises mostly on fire policy. Now, let us go into the scope and coverage of fire policy. Before I go into the fire policy, I must thank Mr. Vivek Kurana of CA Sansar for giving me an opportunity to speak on the general complexities of insurance. Now, let us deep dive into the subject. Fire policy and scope and coverage. What does fire policy cover? It covers fire perils of all kinds. Fire can be accidental. All accidental fires, provided you are insured, you are covered. But an intentional fire put by any businessman for his own property shall not be covered. Next, a fire policy does also cover flood perils. That means if a business unit suffers losses on account of floods, that person can only claim it under fire policy, not in any other policy. So, fire, when we say, it also covers flood. Next, any lightning strike also is covered under the fire policy. Next, fire policy does cover storm, hurricane, tempest, typhoon, tsunami, etc. As per the insurance policy, the word which is there in the insurance policy, it is mentioned as storm. But generally, storm, hurricane, tempest, typhoon, tsunami, etc. are automatically covered, in my opinion, because these are all variations of speed of wind. So, the insurance policy, when it says storm, all variations of speed of the wind are covered, or the intensity of the wind are covered. However, as per the Oxford Dictionary meaning, strong winds and violent winds are considered to be storm. This meaning, as per the dictionary, might be needed by the client at a later date when any claim has been refused or something. Then, fire policy does cover earthquakes. But one must remember, you need to pay additional premium, because the additional premium for earthquake is based on the seismic zone where a business undertaking is located. Next, if there are any damages of any business property or any other property, they shall be covered under the fire policy, provided the damages are in the nature on account of perils like riots, strikes, civil commotions, etc. However, additional premium shall be charged for covering rights, civil commotion, and strikes. In India, generally, the insurance companies ask a certificate from the meteorological department to indicate that there was a storm. And at times, the insurance companies may have their own internal regulations of the wind speed to be considered as a storm. But that should not matter to the client, because any wind speed which is strong enough or violent enough to destroy a property is sufficient for basing a claim. Next, I would like to go further. How to insure stock in trade against fire. I know any businessman will have three types of stock: stock in trade, work in progress, FG means finished goods. Now, most of the clients or merchants must be thinking, I better insure my stocks at selling prices. Then the insurance company will compensate me at selling price. But that does not happen. Stocks cannot be insured at selling price. Universally, throughout the world, stock in trade or work in progress or finished goods are valued at cost as per the accounting practices prevailing in the whole world. Now, when we say accounting practices, stock is valued on recognized two methods. One is FIFO basis, first in, first out, and second is weighted average cost. So obviously, if you insure your stocks higher than the cost price as per the above two methods, you are not going to be compensated for the additional cost price. It should be basically the cost price. You will not be compensated anything above the cost. So if you pay premiums at selling price, you insure your stock at selling price and pay premiums at the selling price value of the stock, you are only wasting your money. The insurance company will only compensate when there is a claim at cost price. Now, next thing is, if you are storing any dangerous goods which can catch fire, these dangerous goods, list of dangerous goods has to be intimated to the insurance company. Otherwise, they will not pay you the claim later on. Because insurance is a concept of utmost good faith. And if you are storing any dangerous goods, the insurance company must know that you are having such goods, and they should be able to reasonably assess and charge you additional premium for storing such dangerous goods. Next, any hazardous goods should also be charged a different premium, and they should be intimated to the insurance company. You should always intimate the class of goods which you are going to store in the factory or any building. Remember, I shall explain to you that in my next slide, that highest stock level in a particular day is better to be insured. That concept you will understand once I take you through the example. Next, stocks kept at different locations have to be insured separately. Assuming that you have three godowns, godown number A, B, and C. It is better to insure the different locations, giving a separate value for the fire insurance for each location separately and insure them. Remember, there is a concept called average clause is applicable. There is a concept called average clause is applicable, and the average clause is very important clause which needs to be taken care while ensuring the stocks against fire. I will explain you what is an average clause in my next slide. Suppose I give you this example. You want to insure your stocks and your values for each month is April so much value, May so much, June, July, August, September, October, etc. Now, you might be wondering, my total values of stock on each of the months at the end of the month, I have different values. And should I insure the total month-end values of each month adding up? Or should I insure for the highest monthly value of stock which is stored in a godown or a building? The answer is, if you see from my screen, the highest stock value is in December 20, which is 480 lakhs. I would suggest that you must insure 480 lakhs as a stock value for insurance against fire perils. Many people will always say, why should I insure at 480 lakhs when my average stock value for the whole year is only 117.34 lakhs? Then the people might insure at the average stock value. That is a big mistake they are doing. If they insure at average stock value, what is the problem is, suppose there is a fire and the fire, when it comes, it doesn't tell you when it is going to come. If you have insured for 117 lakhs and stock holding as on that particular day was say 480 lakhs, the insurance company got the premium say on 117 lakhs. So why should they pay you for 480 lakhs? That is what we are trying to explain. So one more question. Many times the business people take finance, which is called a cash credit limit, against the security of stocks. Now, assuming bank has financed a CC limit of 110 lakhs, say our average stock as per our example is 117 lakhs. The question arises, which value should I insure for? I already told you the highest value of stock in a particular year, which you anticipate, you must insure for. The question arises, what value is the right value to insure against fire? Now, values keep on changing. Next question is, should we be insured at the stock at cost price or selling price? If you insure at selling price, is there a fire and stock loss destroyed? Will the insurance company pay at selling prices? I've already told you the insurance company will not pay you at selling prices. They will only pay you at cost price. So under this example, next thing is, you must also understand, according to Indian accounting standards, only recognized methods of valuation are FIFO or weighted average. After we value the stocks, group of stocks by any of these above methods, we compare the same with the market value, and the lower of the two is adopted for valuation. This is called the valuation at cost for audited accounts. If a businessman insures his stock at selling price and assumes the selling prices are more than the cost, if there's a loss by fire, the insurance company will only compensate at cost price. I'm stressing upon this every now and then. Purpose of insurance is to recover the cost of the losses and not to make any profit. Coming to our example, stock should be insured at the highest figure, December 20, 480 lakhs. Because your average stock may be 117 lakhs. Suppose you insure at 117 lakhs, what happens? You must understand. If there is a fire in December and the value of the stock just before the fire is say 400 lakhs, a loss of fire of 20 lakhs was there in your factory, you will say, the businessman will say, no, I have taken an insurance policy, fire policy for 400 lakhs. So if there is a fire of 20 lakhs, I should be compensated in full. That is the impression of the businessman. But that does not really work as per the insurance law, because there is what is called a concept of average clause. See, if you have taken an insurance policy for 400 lakhs and the stock was 400 lakhs approximately before the fire, and there was a loss of 20 lakhs, you will be compensated fully, provided the cost prices, etc. are fair enough, or the claim amount is fair enough. But if you are insured for 117 lakhs only, which is the average stock, and however you had 400 lakhs of stock just before the fire, and you lost 20 lakhs, you will be compensated proportionately on the basis of average clause, which is like this. Example of average clause is like this. Stock in trade insured 117 lakhs. Date of fire 30th of December. Stock at the time of fire 400 lakhs. Stock destroyed by fire is 20 lakhs. So the formula which will be applied is sum insured upon stock in trade at the time of fire into the loss suffered. So it will be 117 divided by 400 into 20. Claim will be payable is only 5,85,000. Now this, most of the merchants or traders don't understand this concept. They say, I've insured for 117 lakhs, which is more than 20 lakhs. No, that is not the consideration. You need to insure for full value of the stock, which was there just before the fire. Because the insurance company should realize its full premium on the value of the stocks lying in your godowns. Insurance company cannot be taken for a ride that you insurance at average value, and as long as the claim is below the average value, they should pay you full. That is not acceptable. This is basically an average clause, which is an important clause to be explained to all the merchants. And next important thing is, stocks placed at different locations or godowns take a separate limit of insurance for each location. This is preferable. Why I say preferable is because the average clause shall be applied for each location separately. If you have taken separate limits of insurance for each godown or each factory, then the average clause, which I've already explained earlier, shall be taken for each location. And if you fail to take a separate policy, then what happens is, suppose a factory has got 3 godowns at various locations. Because you have not taken a separate clause for each location fire policy with giving the value of the stock, since you have not done that and you have taken a global value of the stock of all the 3 factories together, then the insurance company has to apply, or the insurance surveyor has to apply the average clause on a global basis. This might be disadvantageous many times. Now, fire policy does not cover certain specific losses. Whenever there is a fire, the fire will damage so many things and lot of debris will be there after the fire has entered the factory. So when a cleaning process starts, you need to remove all this debris. You have to spend a lot of money engaging labor, etc. So I would suggest in a fire policy, you can ask a specific mention and say, I want debris removal to be insured for an extent of say 10 lakhs. That means if you have engaged laborers or anybody to remove or clean the factory, that amount also will be a sum insured to you under the category of debris removal. And it's a very important thing because people fail to understand this concept. Next, in case of a fire claim, since you do not know, the businessman does not know how to prepare a claim and present it to the insurance company or the assessor who is going to assess the loss, it is better he engages an expert like me or like someone else like me who can prepare an insurance claim which can be acceptable to the insurance company and you can convince the insurance loss assessor. Now, when you engage an external person to prepare the claim, then what happens? You need to pay him. Whatever cost you incur to pay an external person, you will have to pay from your pocket. Instead of that, you can have a separate sum insured under the fire policy for claim preparation costs so that you are not a loser. Now, if a business has got stocks in cold storage at all times, the best insurance policy to cover such stock is a separate type of policy under the fire policy, but it is called deterioration of stock policy, which covers the perils of electricity fluctuations and damages to stocks on account of variation in temperature. See, if you have got deterioration, if you have got cold storage stocks, generally in a cold storage there cannot be fire. However, your cold storage stocks which are kept can always get damaged due to fluctuations in electricity, because of which the temperature can fall down. And if stocks have to be at -20, obviously if there is electricity fluctuations, etc., it is the stocks are being stored at -5, etc. Obviously, the stocks will get damaged. So in such a case, the best thing is to have a deterioration of stock policy, which is actually a part of fire policy. Such damaged stocks have to be destroyed under the municipal supervision. What I'm trying to say is, after you have taken a deterioration of stock policy, and in case there is a loss, the insurance assessor will come and evaluate the loss and say, okay, these are damaged stocks, we agree about it. And he might try to compensate you. But at the time of compensation, he will definitely say that these stocks have to be destroyed fully under the municipality supervision, because you cannot be doing one thing, claim under the insurance policy under deterioration of stock, and keep the same stock as salvage and sell it in the market. If you do such a thing, the insurance company is always at a risk, because you are selling already damaged stock in the market. Then there could be some product liability claims done by consumers of such goods against the companies, branded companies. So such a thing should not happen. That's why they take care of this situation like this. So with this, I conclude my presentation. See aspects. I'm very thankful to Karana Sir, Vivek Kurana Sir, and I give you my cell number and email ID. If you have got any queries, you may contact me and I'm ready to reply on any of the queries. And if you like our lectures, please give us a good thumbs up and spread the message of our lectures. And if you have got any topic to be discussed on insurance, you may write to me and I shall present my lecture. Thank you very much.